Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about snow time travel in Snowflake. What is this Snowflake time travel? Snowflake time travel enables accessing historical data at any point within a defined period. Here, historical data is nothing but data that has been changed or deleted from Snowflake objects like database, table, schema. It, it serves as a powerful tool for performing following tasks. What are those tasks? Here, restoring data related objects, tables, schemas, and database. These are the three main objects that might have been accidentally or intentionally deleted. Suppose you accidentally deleted entire database. Now I want to restore that entire database. By using this Snowflake time travel, we can do that. The second one, duplicating and backing up the data from key points in the past. So this is the another purpose. Like now you have your own database as part of your new change request. You want to take the data from the production, and then on top of that you can do your changes. In that case, duplicating and backing up data from key points in the past. And third one is the analyzing data usage or manipulation over specified period of time. This is like you want to take the particular day data from the production, and then you want to do some performance, I mean, okay, or some how the if you want to analyze the data to understand what is happening. So in that purpose, you can also take the backup. So in this topic, what we are going to discuss: introduction to time travel, enabling and disabling time travel. Okay, enabling and disabling time travel, specifying the data retention period for an object. How we are going to specify the data retention period for an object. And the fourth one is the changing the data retention period for an object. How we are going to change the existing retention period object. Okay, and querying historical data. How you are going to querying the historical data. And last one is the cloning historical objects. These are the top topics as part of Snowflake time travel we are going to discuss in this slide. And one more, sorry, dropping and restoring objects. So introduction to time travel. As you know, as part of the continuous data production life cycle in Snowflake, we have a three stages. The first stage is the current data storage, and the second one is the time travel retention stage, and third one is the fail safe. These are the three data production life cycle in Snowflake. So the first one, standard operations allowed, like queries, DDL, DML, etc. This is as part of your BAU, or I mean as part of your BAU or development. You are going to do whatever you do, that will comes under the current data storage. And second one is the time travel retention. Time travel retention allowed, select while retrieving the data. By using the select, you can get the time travel. You can apply the time travel by using the at or before. And clone, while by using the clone command in Snowflake, we have a zero copying methodology, that is the clone. Okay, by using that clone, you can use the at or before. And third one is the undrop. So by using the three commands, you are going to do time travel in Snowflake. And the retention period is 1 to 19 days. You can enable 1 to 19 days. If you want to disable time travel effectively, change this time travel retention period as 0. That we will see. And the third I mean continuous data production life cycle, this is the fail safe. So no user operations allowed. Okay, so here we cannot do, everything will be done by the Snowflake itself. So data recoverable only by Snowflake. See, basically the moment when time travel period is over, that objects, okay, will be moved to fail safe. So here onwards, if you want to retrieve the data from this stage, we are not able to do that one. We need to contact with the Snowflake. So Snowflake people will do on behalf of us. Okay, here please note that for transient table, okay, zero fail safe. That means fail safe is not applicable for transient table, and permanent table 7 days will be there. Okay, whereas in time travel 1 to 90 days, but in the fail safe only 7 days. Using the time travel, you can perform following actions within a defined period of time. So query data in the past that has since been updated or deleted. As I told you that, if you enable time travel period for that particular object, then you can do the query data in the past that has since been updated or deleted. Assume that there is one employee table. In that employee table, 10 days back there are 5 records are there, and today there are 100 records are there. Now I want to know what was my status of 10 days back. So 5 records that I can get those 5 records data. Create clones of entire table, schema and database at or before specific point in the past. So I have one database today. The database size is assume that 20 GB, and I want to clone a database, entire database 20 days back what was, okay, today I want to create. So that you can do either entire table or database or schema. Restore tables, schemas and database that have been dropped. Suppose if you drop any object today and you don't realize that, the table has been dropped, and tomorrow as part of the batch, your batch has been, assume that your batch is going to fail because of table is without knowing you dropped. In that case, you are going to restore the tables even though if you drop. Once the defined period of the time has elapsed, okay, once the defined period of time has elapsed, the data is moved into Snowflake failsafe, and these actions can no longer be performed. What are these actions? As I said that, uh, once time travel, assume that you have enabled the time travel for a one table 10 days. The 10 days, after completing the 10 days, what will happen? That is the temporary table, though it's not a transient table. Then that object will be moved to fail safe, and you cannot perform the above all the three operations, like querying the fast data and creating the clone table and restore. Clone table is nothing but at the past, okay, restore the tables at the first, these. Okay, now we will see what are the time travel SQL extensions. Okay, to support the time travel, the following SQL extensions must have been implemented. So first one is the at or before extension. This at or before clause, which can be specified in the select statement and create clone commands. So immediately after the object name. So you have to perform the time travel on any object, you have to use the SQL extensions. The first extension is the at or before clause, which can be specified in the select statement and create clone command. This class uses one of the following parameter to pinpoint the exact historical data you wish to access. So to pinpoint the exact historical data, you have to use the timestamp. First option is the timestamp along with the at or before extension. Offset, the time difference in seconds from the present time. Suppose I want to see the 300 seconds ago what was the data in particular table, so from the now, so in that case you can use the offset. And third one is the statement identify for the statement. For example, yesterday, assume that there is one table employee. Yesterday you deleted delete from employee where employee id is equal to 20. So, and today there are some changes have been happened. Now you want to get the data before deleting what was the before deleting that statement. Okay, delete from employee where employee number equal to 20. What was the my data? In that case, you can use this statement instead of offset or timestamp. Okay, these are the three pinpoints to exact historical data used to access, or parameters we can say. And the another extension is the undrop. Okay, so attr before is the one extension, the second is the undrop. So undrop command for the tables, schemas and database. This is very simple. If you drop any table intentionally or mistakenly without knowing, then by using the undrop command you can get it back. Okay, that is the now here the same thing. Here I have mentioned in the pictorial representation Snowflake data life cycle with time travel. So we have a time travel extensions like at or before. This is the while querying the data with the combination of select from table at or before. This is the how we are going to apply the time travel on select statement by using the extensions at or before. And similar way, working with the data, create a table and clone, create a table name, clone at or before, and create schema and create database. Okay, by using the three commands you can use the at or before. And also removing data, suppose if you drop the table, then if you want to get it back again, you just use the undrop table name. Okay, undrop schema name, undrop database name. That's all. Now we will talk about the data retention period. This is the very important or key component of the Snowflake time travel is the data retention period. So data retention period is the key component of Snowflake time travel. When the data is when data in table is modified, when data in a table is modified, including deletion of data or dropping an object containing the data, Snowflake preserves the state of the data before the update. Okay, that is the one point. The second one is the data retention period specifies the number of days for which this historical data is preserved, and therefore the time travel operations, as I said, that select, create, clone, undrop can be performed on the data. So we have a 1 to 90 days, and if you set the only 3 days, then you can perform fast 3 days only. Okay, data retention period. And the standard retention period is 1 day. So that means for any table, if you don't mention anything, okay, time travel, the standard retention period is the 1 day, that is 24 hours, and is automatically enabled for all Snowflake accounts. Please note that this 1 day time travel is automatically enabled for all Snowflake accounts. For Snowflake standard edition, please note that for Snowflake standard edition, the retention period can be set to 0 or unset back to the default of 1 day at the account and object level. Okay, from standard edition. For Snowflake enterprise and higher, for transient database, schemas and tables, the retention period can be set to 0. Here also you can set the transient database, schemas and tables. The retention period can be set to 0 or unset back to the default of 1 day. Okay. The same is also true for the temporary tables. So temporary tables and transient tables you can set to 0, like as a standard edition. For permanent databases, schemas and tables, the retention period can be set to any value from 0 up to 90 days. You can override, you don't want to 1 day also, then you can override even for permanent database and schemas and tables. That means effectively disabling the time travel. If you set 0, effectively disabling the time travel feature for that particular object. A retention, please note that a retention period of 0 days for an object effectively disables time travel for an object, for the object, as I said that. So when the retention period ends for an object, the historical data is moved into Snowflake failsafe. This is the third stage. I mean, as part of the Snowflake continuous data production life cycle. Historical data is no longer available for querying. So you cannot, query the data fast. Historical data at particular time, like 2 days back now, because of that is your data retention period has been and then that object has been moved to the fail safe, so you cannot do. And also fast objects can no longer be cloned. You cannot clone also by using the clone command. You cannot do. Fast objects that were dropped can no longer be restored. Suppose you have a one table and you enable the time travel as the 1 day, okay, and accidentally you drop that table 2 days back or 1 day back. Now today if you want to unwrap the table, okay, you cannot do because the time travel period has been ended, so you cannot do that. To specify the data retention period for time travel, okay, this is the parameter. This is the very important parameter, data underscore retention time in days. This is the data underscore retention underscore time in days object parameter can be used by users with the account admin role to set the default retention period for your account. So this parameter can be set in different levels, entire account level, database level, schema level, and object level. You can set, okay, this object. The same parameter can be used to explicitly override the default when creating a database schema and individual tables. Assume that account level, the data retention time in days is 0. That means effectively disable this time travel feature at account level. Now you are going to create one database where in which that database you need the time travel 5 days, okay, for the entire database level. Then you can set the you can use this data underscore retention time days parameter while creating the database, or you create the database normally without time travel period. After creating the time travel, immediately you can alter, okay, immediately you can alter, or in future also you can enable the time travel period for any object. The data retention period for database schema or table can be changed anytime. As I said that you can change. Suppose if you don't have a time travel period, you can enable. That is one point. The other point, you have a time travel, you enable the time travel like 10 days. Okay, and 10 days, and then you realize that you don't want to time travel period for entire database 10 days. Instead of that, you want to maintain 1 day. Okay, then you can change at any time. Okay, now we'll see the enabling and disabling the time travel. So what are the things you need to know comes under enabling and disabling time travel? No tasks are required to enable time travel. It is automatically enabled with a standard 1 day retention period. We are talking about entire account level, so no, you as a developer hand we need to do anything. So no tasks are required to enable the time travel. It is automatically enabled with the standard 1 day, okay, retention period. And the second one, time travel cannot be disabled for an account. However, it can be disabled for the individual databases, schemas, and tables by specifying the data retention time in days with value of 0. You cannot disable, okay, instead of disabling you can set the 0. That means effectively you are not using the time travel feature. That's all. Users with account admin role, okay, users with account admin role can set data underscore retention underscore time in days to 0 at the account level. So not only object level like database or schema or table, you can also change the data underscore retention underscore time in days parameter at account level. To do that, the user must have been granted account admin role. That is the one, and the default can be overridden at any time for any database schema or table. This is the one thing. As a general rule, we recommend, that means Snowflake recommend maintaining a value of at least 1 day for any given object. So Snowflake always recommending us to maintain 1 day. There is a some specific reason. So yeah, that is all about time travel. And in the next video, I am going to do a practical through demo. We'll see on the next video. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and share it your friends and like it. Thank you once again.